We're in the Red Room again, at this weird Sony party, in a back room with Tyrone Rodreguez from Nicholas, checking out VVVVVV, I think I did all the V's, on the PlayStation Vita. Any temptation to call it VVVVVVV?
Very much so.
It's incredible that you're bringing this game, Terry Kavanaugh's classic, that not enough people have played, in my opinion. Music by Soli, Magnus Paulsen, incredible composer, beautiful music. A tough as nails but incredibly fair platformer that changes the way you think about level design, the way you think about the environment in a simple game. Because you don't jump, you just reverse your gravity in order to avoid obstacles.
Yeah, basically the floor becomes the ceiling and vice versa when you're playing the game, and it changes the dynamic of how the player thinks about the traditional platformer. You died right there and didn't touch a checkpoint.
That's really stupid because I played this game a ton, but looks great on the Vita. Really glows.
Yeah, that screen makes anything look beautiful, and V looks great with all the colors and every sort of tile that Terry picked and designed, so they really just pop right off.
And this is on the 3DS currently. It did pretty well there, I hope so. How'd it do on that system?
We're very the 3DS, the eShop on 3DS has been very good. It's night and day from that and say something like WiiWare. And DSi was also a good system as far as downloads with DSiWare. But with eShop, particularly for 3DS, Nintendo has some magic going on. And it's a bit of a dark horse because I don't see a lot of developers talking about it, and some of the media guys don't take eShop possibly seriously. But for me, as a publisher and as a developer, it's a pretty serious marketplace, and it's something that we will always consider for the games that we want to develop and publish.
Good to hear. And the Vita as well. Definitely picking up speed. Sony has done such wonderful things with getting developers on here and making them feel as though they're prioritized in a way that they might not on other consoles. It's been wonderful to see that. Is that part of why you're bringing VVVVVV to the Vita?
I'd say so. Sony has had a bit of a turnaround, and not that they were ever in any particularly bad position towards developers, Microsoft, but they've really made an active effort to foster a really positive and awesome relationship with developers for the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, as well as the Vita. So there's a ton of players on the Vita who still want to play games, and I see regular comments on Twitter and on emails like, why are you putting stuff on Vita? There's only 6 people playing it. But for a small company like us, a 6 million or 5 million install base, that's enough. If we get 10% of that, 5% of that, 2% of that, we're not a Capcom, we're not an Ubisoft, we're not a Konami. We don't need to sell 10 million units for it to justify putting good games in the right places and in the hands of players who want them.
Speaking of low install bases, poor Wii U, you know I love it. People didn't buy it as much as they thought they would. Any chance of getting more games on there soon?
We'll be putting games on there. For instance, we've got 1001 Spikes, which we're actively developing for the Wii U and other platforms. And like the other platforms, the Wii U version will be 1 to 4 player co-op and versus. We've also got 90s Arcade Racer, which we'll be putting on the Wii U, which we're still actively developing and working on, as well as, be careful, as well as other games that we haven't announced yet. But yeah, there's no reason for us not to put our games on the Wii U. We love Nintendo. They've been great to us. And we're creating a system where we have a multi-platform engine that will allow us to put games in as many places as possible.
This is such a great game. I'm so sad not as many people as I think would enjoy it have played it, which is why I'm so excited you're bringing it to this console too. Not everyone wants to play a game on their PC. Then they got it for the 3DS if they wanted. Now they get it on the Vita as well, on the go. It's a perfect game to just get a little bit of terrible death in your life in between, on the bus, on the train, lunch break, whatnot. You can jump in, jump out. Can't remember how the save system works.
So the save system in V is a checkpoint system. You have unlimited lives, and it's a pretty tough game. So the checkpoints have been placed strategically so that you don't really have to lose too much progress. For example, right now you were killed by the spikes again, but you go back to this screen and you died again. And
so if I were to stop the game and come back to this in 15 minutes, I could start right from this checkpoint.
You'd be right there.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for doing this. What are those guys? What are those pink hat guys?
They're scary enemies.
I'm terrified. Thanks so much for bringing more video games into my life.
Thanks for playing again.
Thanks, Tyrone.
Don't die so much.